commenting on this specific video where we're going to be talking about the difference between living in the United States and South Africa. My name is Lizette Monare, and thank you for those who have been subscribing, commenting, liking, and for those who haven't yet, I hope you do take a minute out of your time and click on that subscribe, okay? So without wasting any time, as always, this is some of the notes I've jotted down so that I do not forget anything, and then I can just keep referring to it as I go along. Right, without wasting any time, the first one I have on the list is driving. So when it comes to driving in the United States, we drive on the right hand side, and in USA we drive on the left hand side. So the way I always sort of remember this is, if the driver's seat is on the left like it is here, then that means you drive on the right. And in South Africa, if the driver's seat is on the right, then you drive, it's on the side, on the right, then you drive on the left hand side. It's not so confusing. It's only confusing for the first few days, weeks, but once you get used to it, it's just like, okay, it is what it is. And then as far as the laws, the rules when it comes to driving, there's not that much of a difference really. Almost everything is the same, like stop sign, you stop, all of that. There's not much of a difference, except the main two ones that I've noticed that they really do enforce here is, the first one is, if you are at places like malls, shopping centers, schools, even airports, if you are driving and there's a pedestrian that wants to pass, you have to slow down. So you wait for the pedestrian to pass, versus in South Africa where a pedestrian waits for the driver to pass, then to drive through, and then you can only pass or cross once it's safe to do so. Here you can get a ticket for not waiting for a pedestrian to cross, but obviously that's only in places where the speed is not that high. In places like highways, then you're not required to do that, because you're not even allowed to cross over as a pedestrian, you're not allowed to cross over the highway. The second one being turning right on a red light. So if the robot is red, you are allowed to turn red. So let's say the robot is red and you are on the far right of the road, you are allowed, provided there's no cars coming through or it's safe to do so, you can turn right without having to wait for the robot to become red. All right, moving on. The next one, while we talking about cars, is gas stations. So in the USA, we pour our own gas. It's not like in South Africa where you have to get a petrol attendant that's gonna attend to you. No, here you do it yourself, except only two states, Oregon and New Jersey. Those are the two main ones that I know, except those two. But everywhere else, you pour your own gas. So it's simple also, because all you do is literally take out your credit card or your debit card, insert the machine, and then you choose what kind of gas you want, pour it, and then you're good to go. Except when you've got cash, then you have to go inside the store, tell them what pump you're on, and then they just put in whatever amount you chose, and then you pour it yourself, and then you're good to go. All right, moving on to the next one, police. Here, police are visible everywhere. Like everywhere, I don't literally mean like every mile or whatever. I just mean they are there for you to see that in case of emergency or should you need anything, there's probably a police very close by. Should anything happen and you call a police accident or whatever it is, you call a police, they literally be there within a couple of minutes. So they're always somewhere around. So meaning, if you do speed on a highway, like I once did, you will get a ticket. So you will get a ticket, and it's not like in South Africa where you can just take out like a cold drink or chocho, and chocho is a bribe, where you can just be like, okay, here's a colie, let me go. Nope. I once got stopped, and then I did get a ticket for that. So in South Africa, usually when I drive with my mom, we'd get a ticket, and believe you me, we're gonna be actress of the day on that day. If the police stops us, we'll be making all sorts of excuse that we're rushing somewhere. Hey, I've got stomach pain, or just pretend like I'm pregnant, I'm almost in labor. I will just put a jacket quickly in my stomach and pretend like I'm pregnant. They're rushing me to the hospital. Believe you, we will act as much as we know how to, just to not get a ticket. Lana, it doesn't work because the police officer stopped me. I kept saying, oh, I'm sorry, police officer. Oh, it wasn't my intention. The thing is, I'm rushing because my husband is on the other side. I'm rushing to get him. It's like, I understand all of that, ma'am, and I'm sorry you're going through that, but you're still getting a ticket. So no, chochos. Obviously, I know for sure there's some corruption there and there, but visibly there is no chochos. Alrighty, moving on to the next one. Pharmacy drive-through. Yep, so if you do need that medication, whether for your head, period pains, whatever it is, you can just drive through a pharmacy, get whatever you want to get out, go out of the house with your pajamas, no stress, nobody's gonna bother you. Excuse me, nobody's gonna bother you. Get your medication through the window and done, back home. All right, moving on to the next one. Tax. So tax in America, when it comes to things, it's not included. When you go shopping, for example, or when you go grocery shopping, tax is not included. So for example, let's say you find a pen and you see that a pen is $5. When you get to the till, it's not $5, so it's probably gonna be like, depending on what state you are in, because tax is not the same, they don't include it. So you'll either pay $5.20 or $5.30 or whatever, but it's the price you see, it's not the price you pay. Versus in South Africa, the price you see is the price you pay. Lana, no. All right, next one is tipping in restaurants. And it's not even in restaurants really, it's also in places like if somebody, let's say, delivers something to you. Amazon is a big thing here, so almost everything you can just order today, get tomorrow. So when they deliver your things, if you feel like tipping, you tip. So it's a big thing, it's a big culture here, tipping. And not just tipping for the sake of tipping, you tip because you understand the value that somebody provided to you. It's a way of saying thank you. It's just being kind, it's just being nice. And I know in South Africa, for example, I was one of those people who didn't tip at all because I just felt like, why am I tipping you for doing your job? But it does help. The tipping helps a person, it helps them brighten their day, it helps them look forward to working, all those things. So you have to make it a point here to tip. And it's not even like a forced thing, it's not forced to tip because you ate, you have to tip. I mean, it's your choice at the end of the day, but it's become such a culture that everybody does it. If you don't do it, it's almost like, where you from, so everybody does it. Alrighty, and then the next one is the time difference between states. So the way America is so big, there's 3 different time zones. Like right now where I am, 5 o'clock, and then in Florida you might find that it's 6 o'clock, and then California is probably 4 o'clock. Like between me, my sister's in Florida, so between me and my sister we have a 1 hour difference time. And then if I call her, the way it works, say if I call her and say, let's talk over the phone tomorrow at 9, I need to specify 9 o'clock Eastern time, or 9 o'clock your time, or 9 o'clock my time, or whatever. But you can't just say 9 o'clock, because your 9 o'clock is not my 9 o'clock. That's how big it is, that they even have to have 3 different time zones in one country. That for me was a shocker. But anyway, it is what it is. Moving on to the next one. Oh, this one is my favorite, my ultimate favorite. Stores here open 24/7. Stores, especially like Walmart. Walmart is more like where we buy groceries. It's more like your Pick n Pay, your Checkers, or Micro rather. Yeah, it's more like Micro because they sell clothes, grocery, bedding, anything you can get at Micro. It's something similar to that. So Walmart opens 24/7, and you can literally get out of your house at 1 a.m. to go buy groceries and be back. Nobody's gonna bother you. That's how it is. But apart from that one, shops or stores close late at night, like at 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, some even at 11. So you can shop until it's really late at night. And then the only thing though is they don't open at 8 like they do in South Africa. Most stores here open at 10. Some, yes, here and they open at 9, but most of them open at 10. So it's like 10 to 10, apart from Walmart where it's 24/7. And that's not with all Walmarts though, but almost all of them. Wherever you are, there's probably 2 or 3 Walmarts around you that are gonna open 24/7. So should you need anything in the middle of the night that you can get at Makro in South Africa, you can get at Walmart here. You just wake up in the middle of the night and go get whatever you wanna get. And I think also they're trying to accommodate people that work like night shifts, day shifts, or whatever. So because here there's no culture like in South Africa where weekends are weekends, nobody's working or very few people are working, but everybody's off weekends. With America, for me personally, Monday feels like a Saturday, Saturday feels like a Sunday, because people are working throughout. So you choose what hours you want to work. So you might find that some people do 2 jobs. So I might work from 2 o'clock in the morning until 6 o'clock. That would be my first job, and my second job might start at 8 o'clock until, let's say, 2 o'clock, and my third job might start at 2 o'clock until maybe 10 o'clock at night. So whatever time you start working, whatever time you knock off, it doesn't matter, but you'll always be able to go to Walmart or access these shoppings should you work certain hours in a day. Alrighty, next one is car seats, because I'm a mom to a 4-year-old also, so this is one of the things I had to experience, that I'm experiencing actually. So any child under the age of 8 years has to have a car seat. It's illegal to drive with a baby with, what am I saying, not a car, yes, a car seat. It's illegal for anyone to drive with a kid in the car without a car seat. You get stopped by the police, that's a ticket. Some go as far as taking your child because it's seen as child negligence. Okay, so my daughter is 4, so she still has 4 more years to use to use a car seat. But as soon as she's like 5, 6, she can use a booster, anything that's gonna sort of lift her from where she is, instead of using the baby's car seat. That way she can see, but she can see the road, but she's also safely protected. Alrighty, the next one is the way people greet in the USA. First of all, you hardly do see people that greet in the USA. There's no hello njani, hello lekai, nope, none of that. It's rare to find people that greet. What Americans do, what I've seen most of them do, and this is according to my experience, what they do is this. That's their way of greeting. I don't know if it's fake, I don't know if it's real, I don't know if what, but the way it annoys me so much, if somebody does it to me, if somebody just says this to me, I'm not greeting you back, I'm not smiling to you back. If you want to say hi, use your words and say hi. Okay? Whereas in South Africa, we do actually say hello, how are you, whatnot. But funny thing also, while I'm talking about the greeting, Americans talk a lot. They can literally tell you about their life in a matter of a minute. Now, you're in a line, for example, at a store, you're in a line. Just when I turn your back, you'll hear somebody already telling you how many kids they have, where were they last night, what were they doing, all of those things. So I know they're very open to be talking about their life. Where else in South Africa, yes, we'll greet you, we'll say hello, how are you, but as soon as that's done, you just keep it to yourself when it comes to having conversations. Here in America, people do talk, and people aren't afraid to talk about what kind of job they do, how much money they make. It's not a secret. They're very open to talk about that, versus in South Africa, where if I'm making my money, it's my business. I'm not going to be telling unless I'm comfortable with you to be exposing that information. Alrighty, what's the next one? Excuse me. Oh, language. You can take for granted saying things like yo, okay, ish, little words like that you can take for granted until you get to America. So usually in South Africa, when I talk to people or friends, family, whatever, if I don't have much to say, I'll just say yo, yeah, ne, ish, ne, yeah. That for me, people already understand what I'm saying, what I'm trying to say, and I feel like I am being part of the conversation by doing those things. I don't have to keep adding words and whatnot, but here I can't do that. Once somebody tells me something, I have to keep saying, really? oh my gosh, how did that happen? Are you serious? Whereas in South Africa, as soon as I say yo, they already understand what I'm saying. So I miss that. It's something they don't have in USA. Next one, hair. Now hair is expensive to do in the United States. So usually what I do is I keep my hair the way it is, as naturally it is, relax it, whatever it is. But if I would need to do my hair, I do this myself. So I would just braid it myself. Yes, thank you. So I braid my own hair. I practice until I know how to. So I braid my own hair. And if I really want a nice hairstyle, then I wait till I go to South Africa, and that's where I do my hair. So if it's not braiding hair, then I'll probably, it's literally in the United States, 3 different types of hairstyle that I do. So it's braid because I do it myself. I don't have to spend. I just spend on the fiber, and that's it. I just spent on that. And then number 2, I'll just keep my hair the way it is, like relax it, style it, comb it at home by myself. And then number 3, I'll just put on a wig out, and that's it. But if I really want like different other types of hairstyle, I am not spending money here. I would rather spend it in South Africa, where I can do it twice for the price of one here. And I'm okay with that because I've made peace that it is what it is. I'm just gonna do my hair, and then if I really want nice things, nice hairstyle, I'll just go to South Africa. All right, next one, flags. So I feel like if you don't know what country you're in, if you are in the United States and for some reason you don't know what country you are in, just look at the houses around you. You will know where you are by flags. Okay, everybody, well, let me not say everybody, most people display their flags. They are sort of like they're proud to be Americans. They're not afraid to expose where they are. Like almost every businesses again, I don't even want to talk about, because almost every business has a flag. It's like saying, hey, I'm in America. If you don't know, I'm here in America, kind of a thing. Whereas in South Africa, you hardly see anybody that has a flag except like your union buildings and stuff like that. But in JJ, you don't find anybody that has a flag displayed. Obviously, yes, I've seen some in cars, like little stickers on the cars and whatnot. That's where I've seen it. But generally, you don't see people displaying their flags everywhere. But here, almost every house has a flag. I actually need to get a flag, an American flag. Yeah. Next one is getting paid in the United States. So in the United States, people get paid either weekly or bi-weekly. You know how we have to wait? You work the whole month in South Africa, the whole 30 days, only to get paid at the end of the month. Excuse me. Here, you get paid either every week or every second week. And also, in regards to that, you get paid according to the hours you worked. So you guys that work in the municipalities in South Africa, for those of you that always, and you know yourselves, for those of you that work 3 times a week, you are always sick, you are always going to your grandmother's funeral, the same grandmother that passes away almost 5 times a year. For those of you that only work few days in a month and you still get full pay at the end of the year, here it doesn't work. When you get in, you clock in. It literally counts your hour from the time you clock in, and when you go out, it clocks out. When you go to lunch, it clocks you in and out. So at the end of the month, they calculate exactly how many hours you worked, and that's how you get paid. So you're not gonna get paid and say, I worked 5 days in a month, or 3 days in a week, therefore I get paid for 5 days. Nope, you get paid according to how many hours you work. Therefore, after that, every week or every second week, then you get paid. You don't have to wait for end of the month. All right, the next one, it's the safety. Oh, this one is one closest to my heart, because kilukwala. Okay, I am so scared. Like, I need a man to be in the house for me to feel safe and feel like, okay, nothing is gonna happen to me when I'm in South Africa. especially. It's either there needs to be like some sort of a man in the house where I feel like, okay, I feel safe. If it's not that, I need to be in a gated area where I know the security guards at the gate. At least I feel safer that way. But in JJ, I don't feel safe. So that's a big thing for me. And ever since I've moved to the United States, I don't feel like that because I've never experienced crime. I've never experienced anything like that around me. So I can literally go to bed without locking my door, the main door, and I'm okay. I'm not worried that somebody might come in. And I also have that thing that if somebody comes in, it's bad luck to me. It's like one of those days. Unfortunately, it's something I couldn't prevent. But generally, I am safe. So I like that about the United States, that I feel safe, except obviously the shootings that have been happening where in large crowds you just get somebody that randomly shoots, or in schools somebody that shoots. That's a different story from what I'm talking about, but generally I feel safe in the United States. So that's a big one also for me. The last one that I'm going to talk about, I'm just going to leave the other ones, but the last one I'm going to talk about is that people actually do things in the United States. They go out, they explore art places, they explore museums, they actually do create fun for themselves. Whereas in South Africa, fun means let's go to a fancy restaurant, let's go groover, there needs to be alcohol involved. Those are the main things. But here, there's so many things you can do, that you can create, and that you can have fun and create memories, which also I feel like in South Africa you do find things like that, but people just don't have, a lot of people just don't have interest in those. They just want to groover, they want to party, all of that. Drinking has to be involved, I mean alcohol has to be involved, whereas here you can do so many things without any of that being involved. So people actually do create memories here, meaningful memories with their families, with their friends. And that's that. This is where my video ends. If you have any more questions or anything to add, please comment, and I will see you on my next video where I'm going to be talking about food in the United States, because that is a whole other topic on its own, because hey, the struggle is real. See you on my next video.